Hello, my little sprites. Welcome back to my channel. Lainey here. I am so excited to bring this speed build to you today. It is based off of one of my all-time favorite movies, The Labyrinth. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. Absolutely loved it. And I wanted to go ahead and create my very own labyrinth. So I needed some inspiration. Why not dress up as Jareth the Goblin King? So go ahead and grab a cozy spot, maybe some coffee, and sit back and enjoy the video. I would like to first off apologize for the length of the video. The build is a large one and does include the entire front half of the sunlit plateau. First off, I start to map out the design with the plaza, hedges, and trees. I will also incorporate multiple items that can be either crafted or purchased from Scrooge's shop. So while I was designing this build, I found there was a lot of trial and error. So the best way to go ahead and come up with a labyrinth is to start out with designing the outer rim first. That will go ahead, then it'll give you the amount of space that you can work with and you can adjust as needed. So to give my labyrinth a unique look, I went ahead and added some of the waterfall items. You can purchase these waterfall items at Scrooge's shop, but I felt that this would help give some depth, different texture, and just help break up the look of those hedges. As I said at the beginning of the video, there is a lot of trial and error with designing a labyrinth, so you will go ahead and see me just adjust and readjust things until I feel like the fit is just right. Now that I have the back row done for my labyrinth, I start working down the sides and again doing the same pattern where I go ahead and put a hedge, maybe a waterfall or a tree in between the hedges, just to try and get everything butted up to each other just to make a nice snug fit. The one thing you have to think about with a labyrinth, of course, is your entrances or even exits. So I went ahead and planned to have two entrances or exits. I wanted the main one, which is at the front of my build, but then I also wanted a side one, which will also go ahead and connect off to the other side of the sunlit plateau. Now that the outer row of our labyrinth is all set up, we can now start to work on the inner workings. So the first thing I go ahead and do is I grab the larger hedge and I place it kind of centered with our entrance, and I start working off the sides. Again, same pattern where I put a tree or a waterfall in between the large hedge, and then go ahead and just kind of repeat the pattern to the point of where I would like the pathing to go. One thing to also think about with the labyrinth is there are spots where you walk down and you come to a dead end. So I went ahead and I incorporated that in this build as well. Now with that second row being complete, we start working on the third row. I am kind of keeping my labyrinth in a way very simple. With what we have to go ahead and design, it kind of has to be that way. And funny enough, I did, after I recorded this video, go ahead and go back and even update and change a little bit more. Here you can go ahead and see me add a big stone broken artifact. This is something that you get to go ahead and create if you have the new DLC, A Rift in Time, and I thought these were kind of perfect. They definitely, for me, had the movie Labyrinth vibe to them. Now that I have my labyrinth design pretty much set up, I can go ahead and start adding a few items to decorate the inside. So I went ahead and did quite a few of the craftable ruins, and I incorporated those as well as this stone bench. Again, it is from the new DLC Rift in Time, and I went ahead and crafted that. I went ahead and purchased some of the gold Beauty and the Beast items, the big urn, and then I think there's even a smaller one. For lighting, you will also see me go ahead and add the Beauty and the Beast oil lamps. And I just felt like these all kind of fit that vibe I was hoping for. To define the entrance, I decided to go ahead and place that craftable Mickey archway. Now it's time to go ahead and work on the center of our labyrinth. I wanted to go ahead and keep the pillar of nurturing in this location. I thought it would be a nice focal point, and I went ahead and also included those red panda statues. I chose to use one of each. We will also add some of the oil lamps to this area, and then you will see me kind of go hog wild with some of the lovely greenery. A lot of it is the new stuff that we get from the DLC content, and the fact that most of them only take up one space, I kind of just went with it, and the colors are beautiful, and I thought it just fit really well. Here I am adding some more of those stone benches. I felt 4 would be a nice setup, and so I'm just kind of laying them out here. I will then go ahead and place a leaf rug underneath each bench. I also made sure to include some of the original underbrush as well. We've got still some of the Sunlit Plateau bushes, and we will use the birch bushes too to keep with that vibe of being in that location. I have to say, these little fan leaf lily plant, they are my absolute favorite in this. I love the colors and the fan. It's just beautiful. One thing that you do not see me do on camera, and I do it later on, is I go ahead and take some of these new greenery and I do place them throughout the pathing of the labyrinth as well. Now that I have everything kind of situated in the center of the labyrinth, I thought where the seating area needed kind of something different. So I tried the rock rug, but I didn't like it. I ended up going ahead and using the Sunlit Plateau rock clusters instead and kind of just positioned them in kind of almost a plus sign. So here I am just trying my hardest to go ahead and get everything to line up and be in a way as symmetrical as possible with the entrance. But of course, this is what really gets me is those hedges. I'm not entirely sure why they need to take up so much space. You can't place anything half the time next to them, and it hurts. Now that I am somewhat happy with this entrance to the other side of the Sunlit Plateau, I go ahead and I start to go ahead and decorate the outer area. We use one of the craftable runes to kind of go ahead and be, this is the entrance type thing. And then we are filling it in now with some shrubs and trees. This area I also go ahead and use some of the new items that you get with the DLC. The big tree clusters are absolutely the bomb. They are wonderful. They give a lot of depth and texture without taking up a whole bunch of space. So I highly recommend, if you have not gotten the DLC yet, to go ahead and get it. It is so fun, and on top of it, it just is a saver for space. Now it's time for a little walkthrough just to go ahead and get a ground view to make sure the layout of the labyrinth is looking pretty well, and any of the decorative items that I have placed throughout it is, in the right spot. Now that I am happy with how the layout and everything looks from ground view and the exit/entrance to the other part of the Sunlit Plateau, we are going to now concentrate on our main entrance. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and place some of the really cool trees again from the DLC content. Totally recommend getting, can't say it enough. We'll go ahead and lay those out, and then we are going to go ahead and start with a few items. We'll go ahead and place some pathing down, and of course some shrubbery and bushes. The path I chose to use for this is the sun-baked road with a border. Originally, I was only going to go ahead and place the pathing outside the entrance, but as I started doing so, I really started liking the look, and I ended up putting the pathing throughout the entire labyrinth. So you will see me go ahead and do that as well. And I also wanted to go ahead and include the travel well, so that is kind of front and center with our entrance. Now that all of the pathing is laid, took a little bit of a while, but I am so glad I did it because I feel like it just gave the labyrinth a nice clean look. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the outside entrance to our labyrinth. First off, we are laying some of the rock clusters from Sunlit Plateau to go ahead and make a path to our Vitalis mines. I will then also go ahead and use one of the large jungle tree mixtures there. We'll go ahead and place that there along with other trees and bushes. Still wanting to keep with the vibe and feel of the biome, I went ahead and continued to use some of the sunlit plateau bushes and ferns. Now it's time to incorporate some of that new greenery. I absolutely love this greenery. It helps make everything so lush by only using maybe one space out of our count limit. It's just wonderful. Now I want to go ahead and make sure that when I do the outside entrance of this build that I also am able to incorporate it into the entrance of the Sunlit Plateau. I already had this location a little bit decorated to also enter where I have scars area, and I just kind of wanted to make sure it all kind of incorporated went together. As you can see here too, I am working on the area. We have included Goofy's stall up at this front location, and I thought that would be just kind of a nice little space for him. Now I wanted to go ahead and add a few little wooden benches just for a little seating area. I was kind of upset that the benches, of course, would not butt up against the lovely hedges, but I still made it work anyway. in my builds, I always try to make sure that they are going to be a useful build, that I can still go ahead and access the mining nodes, and my builds will also still allow for natural items to spawn in the location. Now, I am not always one to go ahead and put rocks in my builds. I don't always like the look of them. I prefer the greenery over them, but for this build, I decided I kind of needed a few of them. I thought it would make the build a little bit more attractive, and so I went ahead and added some of the mossy sunlit plateau rocks. Now here you can see me start to incorporate some of the new greenery to go ahead and just kind of blend into my entrance like I said earlier, as well as the entrance to Scar. I definitely recommend giving a little walkthrough because it gives you a ground view to where you can see if things are no longer accessible. It also allows you to see if you have any empty spaces maybe you would like to fill. It just kind of gives you a different view than the bird's eye. My little sprites, I hope you enjoyed my Labyrinth inspired build. And I mean, this is absolutely one of my most favorite builds. I had so much fun coming up with this and just enjoyed it all together. It is my most favorite spot in my entire valley. I really hope that it inspires you to go ahead and create your own labyrinth and bring it to your valley. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more content. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you at the next video. Bye!